So friends, here is my robot so far. I'm going to keep on finding things and adding to it. I found this little piece of metal. I added a strip across the top where its head and body connect. I've added some styrofoam and an old used up battery that I'm going to pretend is what powers him. I gave him an on-off power button, and I even found some wheels and some piece of plumbing that I can try to add on. So I'm going to be on a treasure hunt and keep on adding bits and pieces to my robot. I want to see what you can find and what you build out of materials that would normally be junk or garbage. We are going to upcycle that into some fun artwork. Hi friends, it's Miss Joy, and you can see lots and lots of recyclables that I have pulled from the recycle bin. And I've chosen things that will make a really good robot. So I have some things that might become buttons on the robot. They're actual buttons, but they could become like a button that you push, or I pretend to push, something like that. That looks like it could be a light, but it's really a button. This is actually a real light that doesn't work anymore, and that's for my bicycle. These are bottle caps from soda and juice. These can look like buttons if they're glued onto the robot. We have some pieces of metal because robots are usually shiny. And these are all sorts of different lids. This one's from raisins. And I thought we could cut apart some things and glue them together and maybe make a robot. So the body of the robot will probably be made from some bigger cardboard boxes, maybe even a cereal box. Then we can think about what kind of arms we want to give it. Does it have legs? Maybe we could cut apart some tubes and glue those on for legs and arms. Sometimes robots have fun antennae, and I found this was a hanger that broke, and I thought maybe this could stick out the top of my robot's head, or it could be some sort of lever that I pretend does some sort of thing, on some sort of action on my robot. Another idea I had for the top of the head was the top of this bottle. If I cut this down, this top portion looks like it could be some sort of cone. Maybe I could even combine the coat hanger to come out of the top of it. I'm not sure yet, friends. I have an idea of what I'd like to do. And then sometimes as you work, you get new ideas based on the materials that you have to work with. So let's get started. I think I would like the body of my robot to be really big. So I'm choosing my Raisin Bran box. Then I'd like to have a smaller head on top of that. So I'm going to play with different shaped and sized boxes. Ooh, to me, these look really good. This could be the head and this could be the body. I can keep playing and seeing if there's another better fit. Maybe this is a better head for my robot. Let's try another option. Now I can use tape and glue. If you have a parent's help, maybe you can tell them where you want things glued and they can use a hot glue gun. If you know how to use a hot glue gun, maybe you just need to let a parent know that you're going to be doing this and let them know for safety before you start working with it. But I'm going to glue this lid shut, and my robot's going to be hollow inside. That means there's nothing inside, so it'll be nice and light. I've glued the top closed. So I decided to use the granola bar box on top for the robot's head, and I glued the tops closed, and then I after the flaps were glued shut, then I glued on the boxes to each other. And I think I'm going to use toilet paper rolls for the arms. I was playing with the idea of giving my robot legs, but then I thought to myself, it might be hard to stand it up if I want my robot to be able to stand on its own. If I was just carrying it around or laying it down, maybe the legs would be fine. Or if I had something that could be a foot that would help it stand up. It's up to you how you build your robot, but I am going to start with the arms because I've really decided, I really know that I want those arms. I haven't yet decided if I like the idea of the legs or what. I'm still going to wait on that part. So I put down a puddle of glue, then I put down the tube, and I'm going to add a little bit more glue around the sides so that it's a very strong attachment. And I have to wait till it dries before I turn it. So this is a process that could take a few minutes at a time. And then you wait and go do a different project. Maybe you color or do something else, maybe do some homework or some reading, then come back to this when it's dry. We can turn it. Okay, there's one arm. Now I'm going to line up my other arm, and that's where I'm going to glue it. You might need to draw with a pencil so that you've got it lined up, but I'm just going to hold it and then just eyeball it and guess without drawing. All right, I've got a blob of glue on there, then I dropped the paper towel roll, toilet paper roll on there. Now I'm gluing a little bit extra around the edges for a strong attachment. And now we wait and let that dry. I've got all these sorts of things I can decide where I want things to live. I cut apart an egg carton, and I thought these could either be buttons or eyes. Maybe I could even attach googly eyes on top of those. I'm going to position things around and see where I want them to be before I glue anything down. And just kind of play with the design. Maybe this is a panel and he has some buttons on top of the panel. Maybe a lever that does something. I found a rhinestone. Okay, I think this is how I want my robot to look. I still have a few more places to give more things like the mouth and the antenna, but I know that I want these here. So I'll start with that and figure the rest out in a few minutes. So the treasure hunt begins. Once you've used recycle bin materials for the little details, you can look around the house and ask for things that might be broken, that look like maybe a part to a computer or something that looks like it could belong to a robot. make sure you ask first. Don't just glue these on because they might not be broken. But if you've found something that looks like it belongs on your robot, ask your family if you can use them, and we'll begin to attach pieces that are made out of broken materials to make our robot look real. Look what I found. I'm going to use a few, not a whole lot, but just a few strips in special places to make my robot look shiny. Maybe I can wrap this around each of the arms. I can tear off little pieces and attach those separately. Let's see what we get when we get really creative with our materials. We're going to be treasure hunting around outside. Maybe we use some rocks and stones as buttons on our robot. In with all the garbage bags that you buy, sometimes you get twisty ties, or on the top of your bread, these little plastic ties. These might be cool all over your robot too. Foil or aluminum foil has two sides, so I'm going to make a decision that I want my shiny side to show, not my dull side. But your robot might have dull spots and shiny spots. So I'm going to roll this around my robot's arm and glue it down. I can even tuck it in a little bit on the ends of the tube. And I like that for my robot's arm. I'm going to decide if I want to paint some parts of my robot, or if I would like to paint on, or I'm sorry, glue on some parts of the tinfoil might be on certain parts of my robot, and I could tear pieces and then glue that on separately, but I'm not sure yet. So I'm going to just move along to a part that I am sure about. And I have decided that instead of 2 feet like humans have, I'm going to give my robot 1 foot, 1 big foot. Maybe your robot has 4 feet. And I'm going to glue this on sideways so my robot has a big stable bottom to hold it upright. So I'm going to glue down the flaps. Then I'm going to glue this onto the bottom of my robot. My robot's getting so big it doesn't fit in the camera this way, so I'm turning him sideways. And I've decided to use 1 piece of tin foil. I don't want to waste my whole roll, so I want to be using it in a smart way. I'm going to tear off little pieces and glue them on, one at a time. So this is kind of like making collage with tin foil. This way, if I'm collaging them on separately, I can really control where they go. And maybe I could even flip some, not the shiny way, and some the shiny way. So dull side and shiny side. I can make an artistic decision about where I put this and where I leave it off. Maybe I leave the head and the face of my robot with no tinfoil, and I can paint that with a silver or a gold paint. I've painted the head of my robot and the foot of my robot. And even though I could only find black, not silver, that's okay, because I think the viewer, the person looking at my artwork, would still know that this is a robot. And if I can find nails or screws or a spring, I might glue extra things on. I thought maybe some duct tape would look cool on his mouth. I might even cover the top of his antenna with some duct tape. So I'm going to keep exploring and see what other materials I can find that belong on my robot. So here is my robot so far, and I might keep adding things on as I find them. I would like to see what your robots look like, because I bet they'll be all very, very different from each other, depending on what materials you find, depending on the pieces. I found this from an old dog collar that broke. So this was part of a broken dog collar. Wine bottle cork, another cork. This was a tool that I did not need and was able to add on. These are from the lid to pasta sauce or tomato sauce. Let's get as creative as we can with our materials and build a robot and show me what you've made. Okay. My robot says beep bop boop. Goodbye.